GreyMan here. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing well this afternoon, this Sunday afternoon. I spent the day with the family over at the local flea market looking for some preps and different odds and ends. But, you know, it's always nice to spend some time when you have the ability to do so. So let's kind of, get into this Sunday shift report. Now, I've noticed a few things, and you guys know I like to do this every once in a while, is to say, kind of put this up front in advance, because every time we'll get someone that'll join us and just be not happy. So the Sunday shift report, outside of my normal type of content, the Sunday shift report contains material that could be possibly, maybe controversial, which I don't think so, but most of it is my opinion and my opinion only. And most of these articles that I've picked up through research across the webosphere and whatnot, periodicals, are things that have been sent to me. So that being said, my channel does not consist totally of the Sunday shift report. But I just like to let that know, because we have a lot of new people that have been joining the channel, which is very awesome. Truly appreciate you folks joining the Grey family. I truly appreciate that. It's awesome to see a lot of new names and whatnot in the chat, as well as in the comment section below. So that being said, I wanted to kind of just touch on that real quick. The Sunday shift report is about current events. It is about political things. It is about possible topics that you might not agree with, or you may agree with. I don't know. The YouTube verse, amongst things, is a large platform with a lot of different opinions. That being said, let's kind of move forward. First thing we're going to jump into is going to be the supply chain. And like Grey, we talk about the supply chain all the time. I'm like, that we do. That we do, folks. And there's reasons for that. Because the message has to get spread. The message, people have to know that this thing is critical. And the aspect of critical, as you guys have seen, inflation, we've talked about this, inflation is keep on going up. It's not stopping. And I have an article here, and I'm going to link it down below in the description so that you guys can read the article in its entirety, because I find it to be very intriguing. The fact that, CFOs and other economists are not seeing a relief to the supply chain bottlenecks and the labor issues and all the other general stuff that you see, that why prices are going up, why you're not seeing products on the shelf. Some people have called this Thanksgiving the turkey apocalyptic event, or Turkapocalypse, or whatever they come up with to sell ads or whatnot. But it's a possibility, folks. Christmas might not be the same this year. Things like Christmas lights might be hard to find. And now I've read two facets to this story. Some say the big old Walmart chain will not have an issue having Christmas lights, and others say no, there is. Most Christmas lights are imported from China. China's having a lot of issues, and trying to also hear off like the Port of LA and whatnot. We've seen the supply chain there. We've seen the whole trucker issues, and we're going to dive into some things with the truckers as well, because there is not just the whole trucker or labor aspect of the shortage. There's more to the whole trucking industry, and I know I have a few truckers in chat, and you guys could always correct me if I'm wrong, but these are articles that I've come across. Anyways, so if you haven't gotten yet, the time might be to get now. There's all kinds of different issues that are going to be plaguing us, and here's the article that I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring up here in a second. It's this guy, this gentleman who runs Oreo, I think Oreo, the manufacturer, Oreo, Nabisco, or whatever the company is, the CFO for that company. I think his name is Mondelez. Anyways, he's saying that he doesn't see it stopping in 2022. He said maybe in 2023 we might see some relief, possibly. He doesn't know. He's just speculating, just like how we do on the channel. We speculate about things. We have conversations about things. So he is speculating that. He's making the assumption from what he says, what he sees from an executive standpoint, and a business owner who's been in business for quite some time, part of a large organization. He doesn't see the supply chain getting any better in the entirety of 2022. That should wake some of you folks up if you're not already woke. And I don't mean just you. I mean people that might be coming across this channel and seeing this for the very first time. That being said, if you've seen all the issues we've had so far, it is not going to get better, according to economists, CEOs of different companies, CFOs of different companies, manufacturers, truckers, and some of the other organizations that I've seen. So that being said, let me go ahead and get into this article. I just kind of wanted to state that up front, because it's like some people are like, oh, well, it should get better in a few months. Oh, well, it'll get better in 6 months. I don't need to do this. I don't need you to do that. The time is to act now. And it's not about us, or I don't say us, but the preparedness community pushing a certain thing. It's we want you to feel, to be safe, to be prepared, to have the things that you need. It's better to have too much of something than not to have nothing at all. You know, you've probably heard that kind of genre or that kind of saying over and over again. I'd rather be overprepared than underprepared. It's just that simple, folks. It's just that simple. Anyways, let's dive into this. Let me bring up the article. Whew. That was a nice little intro, right? All right, so it says Mondelez, CFO, don't expect relief from supply chain inflation woes next year either. Right there, it states it, folks. It says, I think when we look at the supply chains across the world, there are infinite inflationary pressures that are mostly due to the fact that there are several bottlenecks in the supply chains that are globally, entire world, interlinked. Zarmella said. So I wonder if his name is Mondelez Zarmella, or I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. Anyways, let's stay on topic here. It says, I expect this to continue into 2022. For the entire 2022, the executive added, I think the holiday season ahead of us will put in even more strains on the global supply chain, just like I just stated. However, at the end of next year, there is some optimism for the company behind brands like Oreo, Cadbury, according to Zarmilla. I think that we might see some things changing, maybe into 2023, but quite honestly, 2022, I believe is going to be a tough situation for the global supply chains. So there it is. I'm just not making it up. I'm just not coming up with something out of thin air. This is an executive for a company that's been around for quite some time, folks. I don't know. Most of us know what an Oreo is. Most of us know what a Cadbury egg is. You kind of get my drift with that. So that being said, these are people, these are executives saying that they don't even expect it to alleviate by the entirety of 2022. They're saying maybe possibly in 2023. That should get your sense of urgency to make sure that you have things prepared for anything to just come your way, to make sure that you have enough food stock for you and your family for at least a minimum of a year. I know some of us are like, well, I got a month. Hey, anything is better than nothing, but me personally, the goal is to have a year's supply. And you can do that with a lot of different things. You can do that with freeze-dried foods. You can do that with the canned goods. Matter of fact, that canned video, thank you guys so much. I got so much, I think that's my most viewed video to date since I've started YouTube, is that canned good video that I did on Wednesday, I think it was, and that's awesome. I was blown away by the amount of support and interaction with that video. But back on topic. So like I said, freeze-dried foods, canned goods, folks. So you got your doing your canning, with the canning your foods and all the different types of things you're doing there. Dehydration, vacuum sealing specific stuff, extending the shelf life of a lot of the foods that you have on your prepper pantry and whatnot. So it's just kind of like trying to reiterate that and send it home, that the supply chain is not going to get better anytime soon. We are still in 2021. We're in November, so we got December still, and then we have the entirety of 2022, and who knows what's going to happen in 2023. Every time we wake up, there's another issue that comes, that besieges us, either in the media, across the airwaves, or somewhere, or even here on YouTube, you'll find something that you've never heard before, and you're like, wow. My job, even in my daily life, is when people are misinformed or have the blinders on, is to try to help them remove those blinders and say, hey, this might be something you need to do. And I don't come at it in a forceful manner. I just have a conversation, spark that conversation, and then kind of bring them and kind of direct them to certain material to help them kind of become more prepared. All right, so let's dive into a little bit of the issue and with the trucker situation. Now, I don't mean trucker shortage at all. What I want to talk about is trucker parts to keep these vehicles maintenance and running and on the road. So, and the reason I take a deep breath with that, because it's just so many different things. You guys know this, if you're having issues with your car, sometimes even tires. I talked to the folks down at Discount Tire and Tire Kingdom and a few other folks, and they're saying, man, it's like pulling teeth to get a certain amount of tires in our shop. Sometimes we're standing around with nothing to do because of the fact that we are limited on our supply. Anyways, let me bring up this article, folks. It says trucking companies an unprecedented scramble to find spare parts. These big rigs are having trouble finding spare parts. It says it's a simple fact of life for the commercial trucking industry. Without replacement parts, the big semis stop rolling. So not only you have the shipping container issue, not only do you have just the general supply chain, truckers are essential. Without truckers on the road, you have issues. That's how they get the stuff from the shipping containers or from the ports or wherever things are being dropped off, from stores to distribution centers to your local neighborhood, whatever that you shop at. Anyways, it goes to say, when the trucks stop rolling, the shelves across the United States won't be filled with products. It's getting horrible. Simply finding parts to fix the long-haul trucks, said Patrick Benford, general manager at Rocky Mountain Truck Centers in Flagstaff, Arizona. We have run into a situation where parts are just not available. What we've started having to do is search anywhere parts can be found, anywhere, whatever the parts, even if they're inferior to some other parts that they usually get, they're possibly getting those, which of course is going to lead to situations like trucks breaking down on the road because they're using possibly remanufactured parts, maybe less parts that are less quality controlled. At least that's my perspective on this situation. It says, need a new water pump? That part could be weeks away or on back order. They may not see that parts for months. Even in the business that I have today at my shop, we're seeing delays in orders for just random things for, certain things that like we sell, like the e-liquids and whatnot, and the gear and coils and all that stuff like that. And you guys are probably, what the heck is Grey talking about? It's just my shop, what we do over there. So that being said, that's one issue with the whole trucking industry. And like I said, you folks, you truckers out there that watch my YouTube channel, please drop things in the comments if you guys are hearing these same issues. Share them with the community. We like to hear from you because you guys are boots on the grounds. You guys can kind of take away from these articles if they're factual or not. You guys who work in industries of selling parts, if you're someone who works at a parts counter, how is it going? Drop that down in the comments. Email me. I like to hear from you folks to hear what is actually transpiring outside of me researching these articles and coming across some of this information. Another issue with the whole truck situation, I want to, let me see. Just want to check something real quick. Yes, here it is. All right, so let me bring up this other article that's transpiring with the whole trucking industry. So let's put it up here. It says truckers turn away from LA ports. And you're like, why would they do that? Well, there's a lot of reasons why they'll do that. Because of regulations. Stuff like, well, they can't park their truck and run their camper if it's, they can't run their engine if they want to use like, run their engine in their sleeper cab because of regulations in that state, or maybe in the county, or who knows what. And this is just not localized to LA either. Also, their catalytic, their emissions controls, and also said something about the 2010, you have to have semis and stuff like that. So if you're, you own your own trucking industry or your own truck and it's not up to standards, you cannot go there regardless. Anyways, let's jump into the article. It says, Thomas Moore used to drive his truck into California to pick up cargo loads for years. He refuses to do that now. This is not limited to just to this gentleman. He could tick off a mile-long list about why, but over-regulation, long wait times at the ports, too much traffic, and the lack of facilities for drivers. Truckers are, to me, some of the most underrated, hard-working folks out there. Without them, you would not have food on your table. You would not have the supplies needed to live your daily life. Truckers are the capillary system of the United States. We need them to bring things to us, to bring these things, and they travel all over the globe, work long hours, underpaid. They are the unsung heroes. They are, to me, the heart, possibly one of the major components of the supply chain. Anyways, let's jump on this. It says, we just refuse to go to California, or go into California, Moore told the Epoch Times. At 63 years old, I just can't do it anymore. I would say that the numbers on that probably are 10,000 per day. 10,000 per day who refuse to drive to California or New York just refuse to go there. They just won't have anything to do with it, Moore said from his home in Tucson, Arizona. That was dated on November 2nd. The article was written on November 5th. So this is not like outdated information, folks. This is happening now. Anyways, like I said, man, just think of it. If there was a major issue, if trucks just stopped moving, it would put this country of ours into utter chaos. They are the lifeblood of all your shopping centers, all your places to get feed for your animals, places for you to get fertilizer, places for you to buy food, anything and everything you can think of comes via truck. Yes, it comes from either overseas or local manufacturers or ports and whatnot like that, but the trucks take it from those distribution centers to your town, your city, or whatever it may be. One thing I wanted to bring up before we get into some more controversial topics, you know how that goes, right? Well, they come in soft and then hit it hard. I don't know if you guys, I know you guys have to be, most of you folks know who the Canadian Prepper is, right? And watch his channel. He did a great interview with a gentleman named Ron Hubbard. If you don't know who Ron Hubbard is, he owns Atlas Survival Shelters. And he kind of led into what is transpiring with his company because he says the bunker business is booming. Bunker business is booming. But guess what, folks? The bunker business is booming, but it's not folks like ourselves. It's not the middle class or the poor or the people. Most people can't afford some of this stuff because, again, cost of goods have gone so high that the cost of bunkers in themselves have skyrocketed. If you've looked at what they used to be 5 years ago and what they are today, most of us cannot afford something like that. Sure, it would, to me, it's almost like a luxury having a situation like that. If there ever was a massive catastrophic event, let's say like a nuclear detonation, and so on and so forth, or just, you know, even something, a small bunker just to protect yourself from, let's say, a tornado. Some folks have basements and things like that, but you kind of get where I'm going with that. Anyways, let me throw this up real quick. It's just a small article from Zero Hedge that kind of mentioned the Canadian Prepper's name in there, and that kind of drew my attention, so I wanted to share it with you folks, just in case you have not seen that interview with him with Ron Hubbard and the Canadian Prepper. Excuse me. So here in the article it says, global elite fear a rebellion is brewing. A rebellion is brewing. They fear that folks are waking up. So that's a positive thing for us folks that are being prepared. But global elite fear the rebellion is brewing, says CEO of large doomsday bunker builder. It says, according to the CEO of one of the world's largest doomsday bunker builders, for the elitist, those who are in power currently fear a rebellion of those who they are ruling over. So basically he's saying they fear that we, the folks that are being ruled, are ruled over by government. They fear a rebellion that is coming. Now, I don't know for 100%. I don't know what everybody's thinking. I don't know the general consensus of the entire population of the United States. I know what I've been told. I know the chatter. I've heard folks speak about certain things like, man, if I get pushed one more time, I'm done. So I've seen that kind of situation. So there could be some, truth to what this article is stating, or at least this little brief of the article that I have here for you, because you just don't know. We don't know what the future holds. All we can do is be prepared for what we may encounter moving forward with our lives and the safety of our families, friends, our mutual assistance groups, or whatever that you have that you're trying to protect. Anyways, going on, it says Ron Hubbard, the CEO of Atlas Survival Shelters, while being interviewed by the Canadian Prepper, which, like I said, you guys probably know who he is, tells us right away the bunker building business is exploding as elitists begin to fear the masses are waking up. The masses are waking up. So I don't know if I look at it as a positive thing, as the masses are waking up. They're waking up to know, hopefully, to become better prepared. The more folks that are prepared, the better all around. And it's funny enough, you have other countries that tell their citizens, hey, you might want a month's supply of food, you might want 3 months supply of food just as a precaution. But here in the U.S., don't worry, the government will take care of you. Sit back, go into the metaverse and live your life in a virtual reality situation, in the aspect of, don't worry, you'll have universal basic income, you'll have free this, you'll have free that, we'll deliver food that you might not like to your house and you'll like it. I'm being a bit sarcastic here, but you guys kind of see where I'm going with that, right? So it's weird how we see these things, evolve into what they are today. If we look at 50 years ago, things would have been a lot different. You look, how could we be at this point in our country? It's mind-blowing, to say the least. Oh, man. Now, I guess let's talk about a little bit of good news. As they say, the red wave, you know what I mean? And there was a big win in this last week in regards to a couple certain states things were transpired. Of course, the red wave is like, let's say, a Republican wave or a conservative majority group of folks went out and either voted and pushed the far left out of the situation that they were in because they're tired of being certain things being taught in their schools, and we're going to touch on that. They're tired of being mandated to do this and this and that, and we're going to talk about that too. Anyways, let's kind of go into this. I'm going to bring up, and Florida is doing big things, of course, but I always talk about Florida. But, because I live here, so I see the politics firsthand. I see how it affects me. I see how it affects the state, the community that I live in. So I'm going to bring this up real quick, and then we're going to jump into Texas, and we're going to jump into Virginia. Just to add to that, I know that some things also happen in Jersey, but not enough. Maybe 2022. I don't know. Who knows how we can predict what's going to happen? We can always assume, right? Anyways, it says registered Republicans Florida in this article. Registered Republicans in Florida overtake Democrats in historic milestone, Governor DeSantis states. It says Republicans have set a landmark by overtaking Democrats in the voter registration race for the first time in the Sunshine State's history. So this has happened for the first time in the history of Florida, since they've been recording this information, that the Republicans, I call it the conservative party, because Republicans is a generic term because we have a lot of rhinos, and it's just people who have conservative values are overtaking the leftist, Marxist, socialist kind of values. Even in some of the more blue-ridden cities, like let's say, or counties, let's say like Broward County, Miami and places like that, West Palm, hearts of like Tampa and stuff like that. There's a lot of that kind of thought process there with certain types of not governors, but mayors and whatnot in those cities. Anyways, back to the article. It says Governor Ron DeSantis announced Friday that at the National Conference for State Legislators, he says, when I got elected governor, we had 280,000 more registered Democrats than Republicans in the state of Florida, DeSantis said. Today, it will probably be fully publicized very soon, but for the first time in the history of Florida, we have overtaken Democrats. There are more registered Republicans in Florida than Democrats. To me, that is awesome. That gives me hope that Florida is going to continue on the path that we're in. And the fact that there's some things that I don't agree with that I think that need to be changed in regards to the Second Amendment. That's 100%. And, there's a couple of senators and stuff like that in this area that feel the same way I do. I'd like to meet with them one day to have a conversation or even have them on the channel. Wouldn't that be amazing? But anyways, but generalized, compared to a lot of the other states out there, Florida is one of those good states that are doing at least the best they can. I know some people, Gray, you can't trust politicians. I understand it. They're going to be like, hey, did you read that legislation that, said this and this and that? Yes, I've read all that stuff. But for the majority of it, we're in a good position. A lot of people would rather see DeSantis run for the presidency than the previous president. You know what I mean? So who knows? Who knows? I don't know what DeSantis' plan is. I haven't heard anything what he plans on doing for 2024. I think he's doing a great job in Florida and needs to continue to do so. If he decides to go run for whatever he's going to run for his political career, or whatever he plans on doing, I hope that whoever takes the place of governorship in the state of Florida is on the same track and on the right path, or better. All right, moving on to Virginia. Everybody's talked about Virginia, as they call it. Like I said, we're kind of in this whole, as they call it, the red wave thing. Virginia Republicans flip state house to complete election sweep. The governor of Virginia now the governor of Virginia now is a Republican. Well, let's see what kind of Republican that he is. Is he a Republican with a conservative value, or is he a Republican that used the Republican kind of conservative aspect to get votes? I don't know. Only the Virginians will know long term when it comes to certain policies, if he fights for your rights, if he pushes against mandates that are being pushed, you know what I mean? So now you have and most people used to be more familiar with West Virginia as a red state. Now we have Virginia. So the tides are changing, hopefully for the better. All we can do is hope that things will move in that direction. I can't be honest with you folks and tell you that that's what's going to happen. We just don't know. A lot of folks thought that we would be in a different situation right now in the current year that we're in. Everybody had the inclination that number 45 was going to take it and run with it, and it was just going to be this whole, things we were going to have more time to get our lives together. And yes, I know some folks need to be like, hey, this person is associated with the Rothschilds. This person, I understand all that. Anybody in the what do you call that hierarchy of the big boys, the elitists, the people that have millions and billions of dollars. I get it. You know what I mean? But you get what you get, and you have to deal with what you have. And all we can do as citizens of this country is push forward, prepare, and so on and so forth. Hopefully that makes sense to you folks out there. Anyways, it says Republicans in Virginia gained control of the state's House of Delegates after Democratic leaders on November 5th conceded that the GOP has gained the majority. The concession by the Democrats means Republicans have completed a sweep of the elections, which already included the race for governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general. So let's see what happens with the state of Virginia. Let's jump over to Texas real quick. Texas also had a pretty decent win as well on a bunch of amendments they have passed. Now, of course, you guys can Google these amendments if you'd like and see what I'm talking about, but this is kind of like a little bit of a brief thing here. But it says Texans passed 8 amendments to the state constitution, including one that strengthens religious freedoms, which is awesome. It's part of our constitution. Why do we even have to question it? Texans hit the polls earlier this week to pass all 8 proposed amendments to the state constitution, including one that curtails the ability of government to restrict religious services, also during emergencies like pandemics, according to the state authorities. The Texas Secretary of State has announced unofficial results of the vote, which took place on November 2nd, and was required to approve the amendments which were earlier passed as bills during the legislative session. Two of the propositions were created explicitly in response to the Charlie Victor restrictions. Proposition 3, which won the backing of 62.4% of voters, amends Article 1 of the Texas Constitution by adding a new section preventing the state or any political subdivision of the state from enacting any laws that prohibit or limit religious services, including ones conducted in churches, congregations, and other places of worship. Big win for Texas. So as you see, folks, certain places are working to get the best that they can, I guess, in the political realm of things to make things better for its constituents or its citizens of that state. Other states are not. You know what I mean? Let's say, and this shocked me, to be honest with you, and it's good on the people of Minneapolis. Real quick, this article here, as you guys know, Minneapolis was a big controversy last year in regards to the whole, Black Lives Matter situation and all the, I want to say peaceful protesting, but you guys get the riots and the looting. Anyways, Minneapolis voters on Tuesday rejected a proposal to replace the city's police department with a new Department of Public Safety, an idea that supporters had hoped would bring radical, here I go, I'm getting in trouble now, radical change to policing in the city where Floyd's death under officer's knee brought calls for racial justice. The initiative would have changed the city charter to remove the requirement that the city have a police department with a minimum number of officers. Supporters said a complete overhaul of the policing was necessary to stop violence. Opponents said the proposal had no concrete plan for how to move forward and warned it would leave some communities already affected by the violence more vulnerable as crime is on the rise. And of course, what are the leftist folks? They have these these ideas of grandeur, but they never have a plan. They never have a plan to do anything about it. Like, hey, we're going to send social workers to a house where there's an armed gentleman, arguing with his wife in a domestic dispute. Yeah, not the best idea. I've talked to a lot of law enforcement, and when it comes to domestic disputes, those are some of the dangerous things that they show up for. There's some of the dangerous calls that they show up for. Even traffic stops, some of the traffic stops, it just goes on there, but I'm not going to get into that whole thing of it. So anyways, some things transpiring across the political realm of things and so on and so forth. Also, in the judicial system, there was pretty much a win. Now, I say it's a temporary win. It's a temporary win. As you guys have talked about in my Discord, and I've seen other channels talk about it. I've seen the media talk about it. The whole thing with the OSHA and whatnot like that, and all the mandates coming forward. Well, small win, I guess. Federal courts, as you can see here on the article, it says federal courts block Corn Pop's administration's private business Charlie Victor mandate. A federal appeals court on Saturday blocked Corn Pop's administration private employer Charlie Victor mandate, asserting there may be constitutional issues with the requirement. Duh. That's pretty much blatantly right there in your face. We all know that. We as the citizens, and this goes beyond just even the United States, but we as citizens are like, duh, our constitutional rights are being trampled all over. You know what I mean? Some of these mayors and some of these states are going way beyond. I mean, look what's his name? Well, I can't even remember the name of Murphy, is it, that runs New Jersey? He said that he wasn't well versed on the Bill of Rights. How the hell are you in politics and you don't know about the Bill of Rights? How do you not understand what the Bill of Rights is? How have you not analyzed the Constitution? How have you not learned that in school? How have you learned in your political career? How do you not understand the citizens' rights that are God-given rights that have been given to us from the birth of this country? That doesn't make absolute sense that you are a governor of a state and you don't understand the Bill of Rights, that's, sorry, that kind of just ticks me off a little bit, that you're in a position of power over people, and you're saying that you don't understand. And this was last year, I think it was. I don't know. I think his name is Murphy. I could have got it wrong. I don't know. But anyways, anybody who in New Jersey can correct me down in the chat or whatnot, or in the comment section below. But it's just, that's ridiculous. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, it says federal appeals court on Saturday blocked, or no, I already went over that, sorry, because of the petitions give cause to believe that there are grave statutory and constitutional issues with the mandate. The mandate is hereby stayed pending further action by this court. A panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit Court said in a brief order, the halt of the mandate, which was unveiled this week, is a temporary as the case moves forward. So it could be temporary. Who knows what's going to happen with it? You know what I mean? Like I said, it's a small win. It's a move in the right direction. You know what I mean? But we don't know long term how that's going to play out. We'll see if it has to go to the Supreme Court. We'll see what the Supreme Court does. Because I've seen this. The Supreme Court is like 50-50. Sometimes we think they're going to do something, and they fall short. So, and you figure, I guess that's there's some uncertainty there when things go to the Supreme Court. Like the state of Texas has pushed some things there. The state of Florida has pushed things. A lot of states have pushed things. Some of them won, and some of them have not. Whew. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little out of breath for a second. Anyways, let's see what we have left. We're almost done, folks. We ain't got too much stuff. We're going to get into a little bit of information, and we're going to get into something else that kind of just makes my skin crawl. One thing here, I'm going to suggest this. I'm not going to show you the video, probably because it's not mine to show. But all in all, I hope everybody watching right now, I hope your kids don't watch Sesame Street. And I know some of you people say, well, what do you mean Sesame Street? I hope if you were letting your young children watch this crap, it's nothing what we grew up with as children. It has changed so far. It's now a indoctrination, narrative pushed show to get your kids indoctrinated and pushed with a certain belief system that this puppet Jim Henson, whatever you want to call it, thing. And I'll throw this article up. Some of you guys have probably seen this. I mean, I know it's in my Discord because I've seen it come across there, but I've also seen it played out other places. Anyways, just a really little quick article here. It says Sesame Street encourages Charlie Victor for kids with special. Kids with special. Oh, yeah. Okay, so CNN and they did this fake, what do they call it? This fake town hall with people like Big Bird and all that crap like that. And it was the biggest sham ever. I was just like, this is garbage. This is crap. How can people even, man. And I got to touch on something. I got to show you what de Blasio, God, he doesn't stop, man. He's destroying the city of New York. Man, the governor's just as bad. And everybody's like, oh, well, we got this and we got that. I hope that something transpires in New York and changes the whole situation there. But anyways, it says it will help keep me, my friends, and my neighbors, and my abuela healthy, which stands for grandma, so you guys know. I guess I'm translating here. But they did, if you watch it, Google it. Google Sesame Street, CNN, Town Hall, or whatever you want to call it. Find the video. It's all over the place. Matter of fact, if you're part of my Discord, you've probably already clicked the link and watched it and discussed, because it's just, leave our kids alone. It's that simple. We as parents raise our children the way we want them to be raised. Be it if some people raise their kids wrong, I guess that's their prerogative. But don't put crap in front of my kid that's going to take away from the values that I have in my family unit. You know what I mean? The things that I want my kids to learn. So I monitor every single thing that is coming our way. That's why I had to pull my daughter from the public school system, because it's disgusting what's being taught in those schools. And I have a 1 and 30-second video that I want to show you folks. I think his name is Tony, that I want to show you, so that you are aware. If your kids are in public school, this is something that you need to pay attention to. And we've touched upon this. I've showed you videos and articles and all kinds of stuff like that. And this is an educator that's going to hopefully shed some more light on the situation. Anyways, let's go over to New York City, the wonderful city, the what is it, the Big Apple, right? and I don't even understand this, to be honest with you. These incentives, you know what I mean? I've never seen nothing like this in the history of our country. Anyways, moving forward, let's bring up the article. It says, NYC offers a $100 incentive to kids. To kids, a $100 incentive to kids. What does a $100 mean to a child? Now, I don't know the logistics of it. Someone may like, hey, Greg, well, you know, it has to go through their parents. Whatever, bruh. I don't care. It's still that it's there. It's there. It's being pushed. So here we go. Sorry, I got a little bit irritated with the previous Sunday shift report where someone didn't comprehend a bar is a bar, and I don't care that someone that it's my choice. If I want to take my kid to a bar, then it's my choice. I don't want the school system taking my elementary kid to any bar. I don't give a care what it's about or who's there, or they've been doing it for decades or 20 years. If they have parent permission slips, do these parents even have any idea what the heck they're signing? Who knows? There's a lot of parents that are not as interactive in their children's lives as you would think. Anyways, sorry, that's just a little rant because that irked me, and I was like, dude, you don't understand what I'm relaying to you, to people. You know what I mean? And if you don't like it, like I said, if you come to a YouTube channel and you don't like what they have to say, sure, you might want to leave a nasty comment. You might want to do a little thumbs down. Hey, power to you, brother or sister, whoever that you are. But move on. Find something that follows your values. Find something that you enjoy. You don't have to be on this YouTube channel, that YouTube channel, whatever. So the concept of like you want to argue and be argumentative where the majority is in support of a specific opinion-based article, then it is what it is, bro. But anyways, moving on. Sorry, a little bit of I guess, tangent or a rant there. My apologies. Anyways, it says, New York City's Charlie Victor incentives, including a $100 prepaid debit card, are now available to children 5 to 11. Mayor Bill de Blasio said Thursday. Well, how kind of you, Bill. You're such a phenomenal, outstanding mayor, man. You know, you're just such a great guy. And all, man. I'm so glad that I don't live in that city, and I feel bad for the folks that are dealing with that. Matter of fact, a lot of you folks watch the Angry Prepper, and you've probably got more of a detailed situation what's transpiring there with the firefighters and all the other stuff that's going on there. But man, what a crap show that is. Anyways, it says, moving on, and I like how this is worded. It says, good news, kids are eligible for a $100 Victor incentive. So we really want kids to take advantage of families take advantage of that, de Blasio said at a press conference which came 2 days after the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, the good old CDC. They're such great folks over there, and the person running that place is just amazing. Being sarcastic, so don't take me for what I'm saying. Officially recommended that the Charlie Victor for 5 to 11 years old. And here's the funny thing about that. The funny thing is there was a statement made by someone who works for one of the pharmaceutical agencies that said, hey, we don't know. Without giving it to them, we don't know what the long-term effects are. So we need to get it in them so that we can find out. So yes, let's use these children. Let's use the children of the future for guinea pigs. That's a great idea, man. Let's do that. That's just phenomenal. Anyways. Just ridiculous stuff. And that's how I look at it. It's like common sense in general. I don't comprehend that. Common sense in general. When the powers that be that say the certain things, do they understand that the words that are coming out of their mouth? Like, honestly, do you pay attention? Is this scripted? Is this handed to you? Hey, read this on CNN. Hey, read this on whatever. And funny that, that being said, because if you've ever looked at, some channels have done a great job of putting these weird quotes that every single media outlet says that it's like a broken record. You'll watch news media that blankets the entire U.S. and they all sound eerily similar, like it's all scripted, it's all planned, it's all pushed. We all follow this script that's handed to us by these people, and that's what we do. Now I'm just, I'm just. Oh, let me put the tinfoil. I don't have the prepping preacher's tinfoil hat. Maybe I should make one. I should make me a big tinfoil cowboy hat. Yep, here we go. We're getting into this now, folks. Anyways, sorry. I just find that because a lot of folks, oh, that guy's crazy, man. Yeah, I don't know what's in his coffee. I don't know what's in his coffee because he is off the rails. Oh, man, the caffeine is good going down through the veins. All right, moving on. Let's jump over to China real quick. The precipice of war. As we inch closer to things that are happening, I know Congress, the Republicans have told, I think Congress, that they need, or they told the current administration, we need to put troops down in Taiwan or train Taiwan, no, not put troops. That's a different. That's, I think that's Crimea or whatnot. Anyways, we need to train the Taiwanese army. The Taiwanese army needs to get built up. We need to do something there. What else? I think they did say they wanted to send troops to the Ukraine because Russia's movements, Russia's building up there. So you have those situations. You have, like I said, North Korea testing missiles. You have what was it? The Iran? Whatever that drone that almost killed somebody just recently. I have it somewhere, but I don't. I'm not gonna bring it up. You guys have probably already seen it all over mainstream or whatnot, or someone's probably discussed it. But all in all, it's as you notice, we have supply chain issues, we have labor issues, we have still the health crisis. Supposedly, some people predict that it'll be over by January 1st. Well, what's the next crisis? What's going to happen next? Anyways, moving from that. But you kind of get where I'm going with it, right? But as things get more tense amongst, how does America piss off the French? You know what I mean? It's just crazy what's transpiring in today's political realm of things across the globe. Man, it's just getting wild out there, man. It's like the wild, wild west across the globe. And I know there's some funny things going on. The whole thing with I'm laughing because some people were like, who cares about this? But it was like Newsmax, I think the New York Post or something like that. They posted because I guess the Corn Pop was very flagellant in one of his meetings that he had overseas, and it made the folks there blush. And it was just a funny story. I got a giggle out of it, because this guy, he needs to be in elderly care somewhere tucked away, and someone taking care of him, because I feel so bad for that man. Yes, I feel bad for the guy, man. Whoever's pulling the strings, bro, they need to retire them before he falls flat on his face. That, like he's done in the past already, coming down that little going up to Air Force One. That was pretty hilarious myself, or that was pretty hilarious in itself. Anyways, Grey, get to the point. This video is long enough, or this premiere. China. So let's go over here. People hate when I do that, like, hey, Grey, do you have an issue with that? No, I just think it's funny. You know what I mean? It's sarcastic. Why can't we be humorous anymore? Why can't we say something humorous, even if it doesn't follow the what is it called? Politically correctness crap. Anyways, moving on. China builds missile targets shaped like U.S. aircraft carrier destroyers in a remote desert. The Chinese military has built targets in the shape of an American aircraft carrier and other U.S. warships. The Takiakamakan, I don't know, I know I've said that wrong, but desert as part of the new target range complex, according to photos provided by USNI News by satellite imagery company Maxar. And I'm going to show you one of the satellite imageries here in a second. It says a full-scale outline of the U.S. carrier and at least two Arleigh Burke-class destroyers are part of the target range that has been built in the Rukwang region in central China. Sorry, I can't pronounce those words. I guess I'm not the smartest here. The site is near a former target range China used to test early versions of its so-called carrier killer DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missile, according to press reports in 2013. The new range shows that China continues to focus on anti-carrier capabilities with an emphasis on U.S. Navy warships, not Japanese, not Taiwanese, not this or that, not any of that. U.S. They're focusing on U.S. Navy warships. Unlike the Iranian Navy's aircraft carrier-shaped target in the Persian Gulf, the new facility shows signs of sophisticated instrumented target range. So, the Chinese doesn't mess around when it comes to what they're trying to do. Look at this is what it looks like. This is a photo from Maxar Technologies and USNI satellite imagery. But look at that. If you look at that on the screen, that's pretty detailed. They went above and beyond, just like they've mimicked, suburban towns in China. They've mimicked cities in China. They even have a fake kind of a Pentagon shopping center that looks just like the Pentagon in China. So one thing to keep an eye on, I guess. Another thing to watch out. The Chinese continue to do stuff with hypersonic missiles, their race to the moon, their race to Mars, and everything else thing that they're doing. They're pushing forward as we sit here and drag our feet because of the current administration. Excuse me, folks. All right, so to wrap this up a little bit, I have this last article that I want to show you. It's see, the thing is, if it's on Twitter, I think I can show, because I've showed content on Twitter before, which shouldn't be an issue. Let me bring up the article that I'm talking about. It's not really an article, it's a tweet and it's part of an article. And here it is. It says, Indiana educator warns parents when When we tell you CRT isn't taught in our schools, we're lying. So his name is Tony Kinnett. As an admin for the largest school district in Indiana, here's what we mean and when we tell you that we aren't teaching critical race theory. So that's his tweet. You can find the guy on Twitter if you prefer to follow and see what he has if you have a Twitter account. But just listen to this real quick and then we'll wrap it up here in a second. Let me bring this video up for you. I think it's a minute and a half long if you guys don't mind entertaining me with this, and then we'll wrap this stuff up real quick. So I'm going to bring up the video. It'll probably be full screen here. All right, let's do this.
I'm the science coach and admin in the largest public school district in Indiana. I'm in dozens of classrooms a week, so I see exactly what we're teaching our students. When we tell you that schools aren't teaching critical race theory, that it's nowhere in our standards, that's misdirection. We don't have the quotes and theories as state standards per se. We do have critical race theory in how we teach. We tell our teachers to treat students differently based on color. We tell our students that every problem is a result of white men, and that everything Western civilization built is racist. Capitalism as a tool of white supremacy. Those are straight out of Kimberly Crenshaw's main points, verbatim in Critical Race Theory, the writings that formed the movement. This is in math, history, science, English, the arts, and it's not slowing down. If students of color have lower reading scores, it's because of inequity. Therefore, we take from the white students and give to the color students. That's Richard Delgado, straight out of CRT and Introduction. All teaching is political, with reality and facts taking the back seat. That's Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings, who outlined how she saw critical race theory fleshed out in public schools in 1995. When schools tell you that we aren't teaching critical race theory, it means one thing. Go away and look into our affairs no further. It isn't about transparency, it isn't about cultural relevance, it's race essentialism, painted to look like the district cares about students of color. We call it anti-racism, so you feel bad if you disagree with our segregationist pedagogy. It's taking advantage of kids' vulnerability and parents' inactivity to preen over social snake oil schemes designed to create division. Parents, when we tell you critical race theory isn't taught in our schools, we're lying. Keep looking.
All right, so I don't know what you guys think about that, but I mean, that's straight from an educator's, like I said, mouth there, right there. Again, you know, public school systems. Specifically, he's talking in Indiana. If you want, check his name out. You can Google his name or whatnot. Check the Twitter feed. You know what I mean? It's his video. It's his information. I just wanted to share that with you folks, just so that you can hear it from his mouth and not mine. You can hear him, you know, explain it, and he used sample sources and whatnot for that. So, pretty wild, to say the least. Anyways, that about wraps up the Sunday Shift Report. You know, hopefully you guys found this informative. If you did, go ahead and smash that thumbs up. Because I know there's going to be someone like, no, I hate this man. I don't like what he has to say. Well, why are you here, man? Why are you here? Move on. You know, don't let the door hit you in the behind. But anyways, that's just how it is, and that's how, you know, social media isn't regardless. There's always someone that, you know, there's a keyboard warrior or whatnot, or people that are just jealous or upset or angry or who knows what, man. But anyways, like I said, if you do support the channel, go ahead and please subscribe, share. If you haven't subscribed already, you know, smash that thumbs up button, all that good stuff. And that completes the Sunday Shift Report. So I'll see you guys tomorrow on Monday. I don't know what I got going on Tuesday. I got to go through my emails. I got a lot of prizes to ship out. Thank you all for joining Grey's 10K celebration. That was awesome. I had a really good time. Hopefully you did as well. Man, I got a huge list of stuff to get out in the mail, and we'll be getting that out this week. And there's, matter of fact, there's a couple things I need to get out to some people that I've been promising for quite some time that I've noticed I forgot. Now I have a list that's not stapled, but taped to my door. So every time I walk through the door, there it is, Grey. This is what you need to do. This is what you've forgotten to do. So, all right. Other than that, folks, have a blessed day. Be safe out there. Stay prepared. Make sure you have all your things in order. Just, you know, and just enjoy what you can and what you have. Hug your kids, hug your wife, hug your husband. Hug your grandparents, spend some time with them, go out in the woods and enjoy nature, as it's just a wonderful place out there. Get some green time out there, folks. Anyways, this is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys on a rebound. God bless and have a great day.